We wanted an order departed. We wanted the economy better. We wanted prices down. We're just not getting all the things we want. We're seeing the ICE rampaging through the streets of major cities. We're seeing prices go up. We're seeing healthcare prices about to skyrocket. Like, I don't think any of these guys voted for new change in Venezuela. You also have to worry. Like Trump likes the press coverage he gets from this. He likes all the praise he gets. He's gonna look to see like which country is next, or maybe he's back in Iran, right? So like this is pretty ominous stuff. Well, obviously, we haven't seen the last of whatever international incursions Trump is engaged in. So, I would recommend for everyone who's watching right now, if you want to learn more about what's happening in the international space, subscribe to Pod Save the World. Podcast, the link to Pod Save the World. Never thought I'd see a federal court order that essentially refers to an administration and the DOJ as idiots. But this is about the closest you come to a federal judge saying, "Are you a bunch of idiots? Do you not know how to read my prior orders? Do you want me to restate what's in my prior orders?" Let me tell you what just went down as Judge Colleen Polar Connolly issued an order saying, "Let me remind you one more time. You do not have a right to look at the records.
Working good. I say working good on you right there. Something for your nose.
Yeah, but it was running last night.
Um,
That helps dries it up,
yeah.
Trump just digged his own grave.
Yeah, when Venezuela kidnap a president from over there. Oh, they say they call it kidnap. That just say kidnap. The man is a terrorist, a drug dealer, narco terrorist, and it's true. The dude is a drug dealer. The Venezuela president, the former president, was a drug dealer. He responsible for all the cartel and stuff. For all the drugs coming over here.
Never thought I'd see a federal court order that essentially refers to an administration and the DOJ as idiots. But this is about the closest you come to a federal judge saying, "Are you a bunch of idiots? Do you not know how to read my prior orders? Do you want me to restate what's in my prior orders?" Let me tell you what just went down as Judge Colleen Polar Connolly issued an order saying, "Let me remind you one more time. You do not have a right to look at the records that you're claiming you need an extension of time to look at." So before Christmas and before New Year's, the Trump regime filed an emergency motion and they said, "Judge, we don't have the technical capabilities in the Washington, D.C. and surrounding area at the DOJ to comply with your prior order that says we needed to turn over the attorney-client privilege file of Daniel Richmond." Richmond was seen those records because it was not done through an actual warrant. It was an unlawful search and seizure that took place, but Lindsey Halligan, Trump's stooge, who we put there as the United States Attorney for these
You see his press conference. He said the U.S. government gonna run Venezuela. Yeah, I mean they gotta have boot on the ground. The military have to be present on the ground to keep law and order.
The case against Comey got dismissed for other reasons because she was disqualified or who signed on to this completely corrupt indictment. But thereafter, Daniel Richmond filed a lawsuit against the government for unlawful searches and seizures, violation of his constitutional rights. This judge, Judge Colleen Collier-Connolly, made a very clear order. DOJ, you can't read or look at these documents. You didn't have the right to them. Okay, you need a warrant to look at it. There's one document which you can delete, but you can't look at it. You can delete one classified record, don't look at it. The rest, delete from your files, turn it over to Comey's lawyer, Daniel Richmond, and you can lodge another copy of it with the Eastern District of Virginia. And if you want to go about getting a warrant, go get a warrant, and then you can pass the back.
Your city got a new mayor in office now. And I think Mikey Sherrill supposed to be swearing into the new governor for New Jersey. I don't know. It's on the 20th day. She's supposed to be swearing on the 20th, if I'm mistaken.
I want to see the one that is Donald Trump digged his own grave.
Oh, right here. I didn't look at AR. That's look real.
Donald Trump has dug his own grave. It's done. Singapore thing, he's done. There are 4 things I'm going to point out here that's going to show you why he has dug his own grave, and there's a bombshell at the end, and I'm going to follow up with some extra bombshells. So let's go. Let's start with the first. It's his health. He's in trouble, really bad trouble with his health. He refuses to wear the compression socks. He also refuses to lower the dosage on his aspirin. His aspirin level is at killer level. It's 4 times the level of aspirin you're supposed to take. Okay, because he's thinning out his blood, which is absolutely horrible because he's already on blood. Okay, he's down that line where his dementia is crazy. He's doing 3 a.m. posts correcting Iran. Okay, he's doing 1 a.m., 2 a.m., middle of the night posts threatening America and American citizens on basically throwing them out the country, cutting their subsidies, and doing whatever the hell he can do to terrorize people. Why is he doing it? Because he doesn't want you looking at number 2, which is excellent. I was hoping he'd do what he did. But he did. I was hoping he'd do that. I was hoping that he would do that because it means it's in. His biggest in is the fact that he's redacting files to an FC Transparency Act, an actual law. That gives Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna the right to come after his people. They come after him. The first one is Bondi. They're going to arrest Bondi. So Bondi's going to jail or Bondi's going in cuffs. Bondi is going down big. But here's the thing, Bondi's not going to turn into Trump. She's going to get the biggest bag ever just for setting up. Even if she goes to jail, she's going to come out. Because what they're both protecting in the FD files is much bigger than Trump and little teen girls. We're going to find that out. And it's going to get him kicked out of office, possibly within a matter of months, but within this year, Richard. And I want you to understand that he doesn't play this because he could have played this one other way and pulled himself out of it. Awesome.
Did you do some Tylenol or something?
I need to take a couple towels off.
But there's a bigger thing than him. He's not just protecting himself, everybody. He's protecting the society. I repeatedly talked about how his
Let me
biggest
see.
sex trafficking is drugs, is guns.
Let me get it Tylenol.
And if he opens up those files,
get the talent for you.
That white cup, where the coffee cup at,
Mm-hmm.
rinse it out and put me some orange juice in it. Only me a little bit. I'm not a whole glass.
You done with that?
And that's, oh no, that's
You would need it there still.
today. I better get better.
Yeah, oh yeah. From work Monday. Back to work on Monday. You'll be okay. It's about by the end of the day today. You'll be okay for work on Monday. It's the flu season. So ain't no worry, man.
Now this is if he survived, because the truth is, I don't think the man's gonna live 7 months. But let's say the old crocodile makes it through. Okay, if he makes it through, then let's say somehow he's still in office after Epstein. If he makes it through all that, or even if he doesn't and he gets kicked out, he's out on the street, he's still alive. They're still going to try him. In 2029 on. That's why he tells us that he's become the next president because the Russian president will win because there's a power to keep him alive. Keep him alive is taking off. Everybody else is that's the bad thing. He should get retired on the stuff because he wasn't kicked out. The testimony wasn't done. I'm like, oh, bad testimony. We just gonna blow out the case. No, they did it. They did it. So they was able to restart. It's over. It's over. So they, again, it's over. If you don't get them, this will get them. Number 4. You ready for this one? Oh, man. Then I got some problems. Listen. Oh, listen, I got problems. So, number 4 is equally gigantic. And that is the Griffins getting the stuff. Again, the Griffins getting the stuff. Again, the Griffins getting the stuff. What do I mean by that? Let me break it down to you. Go to school on this, okay? So there's 2 types of grip that you do. There is the Bitcoin grip. There is the Trump RX grip. There is the Tesla. Okay? Now, what's interesting about this is that a lot of money, like I said, with Epstein file, the other thing that this opens up is who's moving money where. His family is moving billions
you go to work Monday, you gotta be wearing your mask. Cause the area you work in there too could be the flu and stuff and for the other stuff. So you make sure you keep your mask on.
I always have my mask on. I put like 3 of them on.
Yeah. A place that carry a lot of germs, a lot of flu and stuff.
Protect with a better password your money somewhere away from the banks. But the way
That's a hospital down there, so you gotta, you know.
public record, very public. People can find out there were federal agents who tried to steal some money from a Bitcoin scammer about 5 years ago who ended up going to jail because they're so stupid they didn't realize that blockchain means public. Well, guess what? Trump's been doing blockchain at the tune of billions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So this is how it works. Basically, the family shops a deal that they want. They want a deal with America. Let me give you an example. UAE, United Arab Emirates, got a $1.4 trillion deal with America. Now, how did he get paid? Because the people from United Arab Emirates, were to get this deal, they through the meme coin, some money, invest in the meme coin. Now, what he does, he takes that meme coin money and does a loan. His people does a loan against the meme coin value. So if the value goes up because you have, trillionaire, billionaire, Saudi, not Saudi, but United Arab Emirates people putting UAE people putting money in there, they could easily pull out. Let's say they gave them, say, 500 million. They could put out a loan really quickly for 400 million, have the loan paid through all of their tax flow on a yearly basis, and then have 400 million in tax-free dollars. If there's a pool in any of their assets, the assets itself may be able to pay off the loan without them paying with their cash flow. Free money, free money. And then you give the deal of 1.5, well, let me at 1.4 trillion. Well, let me tell you something else. That 1.4 trillion they're doing business with America on, they're American businesses who are going to pay Trump money, millions of dollars, even hundreds of millions. So if they're spending money to do deals in America for real estate or for pharmaceuticals or whatever technology, that company who wants the right for that contract to deal with United Arab Emirates through this American deal is going to pay through that meme coin
Big one.
or anonymously get the money over there and make sure that they get the deal. It'll be anywhere from millions to tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. Now you know the game. Now you understand. Here's what I want you to understand where he fell his own grave. It's all public stuff, public ledger. You can't hide that money. Everyone can be found. And that's just one thing. I just pointed one thing. Let me point out another. These tariffs, they're getting paid through those bitcoins as well. Because the tariffs are on the tariffs, when he raises and lowers them, it changes the markets, the market values, everything. And it affects literally billions of dollars for industry. Chinese companies got together and got them and did a special deal with the Trump family and did special deals with partners of the Trump family. Even his son, Barron, is worth 150 he had crypto partnership, knowing whenever his dad is going to go and change any policy, he knows in advance what's going to happen. And he tells his partners to do it, and they cut him in for it.
People can't believe we're selling real gold jewelry for under $40. I get it. After 33 years of charging hundreds for these same pieces, even I can't believe these prices. But we're closing next Friday and have boxes of inventory left that we simply can't take with us. I'm Maya, and my husband Henry and I have handcrafted every single shampoo will make you grow new hair in 2 weeks. If no new hair grows, we will compensate you $20,000.
Yeah, Rachel.
It gets deeper when you talk about RX. That's getting discovered too. Not enough people to talk about that. Trump RX. He's trying not to get rid of Obamacare, but replace it. Why? Because if he has Trump RX, the best bidder gets a chance to give deals to Americans that aren't really deals. You know, this is Trump. He's going to give you trash stuff. So the thing is, people know it. They see it. It's right in their face. And what's digging his grave is that we got 4 Republicans now who sometime in the next couple of days will be voting on ACA subsidies and changing this whole shit around. It could be as early as today or next week where we get these ACA subsidies. I think we got to vote. We got to vote. Trump is screwed because that Trump RX is what he wants to give them. So why does he care about Trump RX? Because the big pharmaceutical companies will take care of Trump in return for that through the lean point or any other way. See, he's got lean point, but he also has cash. And a lot of that cash is being used by the very
Wow. The insurance company. Of insurance company making trillions of dollars.
How do you think he's so nice to Mom Donnie? Because Mom Donnie's got his finger on the pulse and buck up his money in New York. And his friends' money. And his family's money. That's why he wanted to go home. That's why he's a punk ass. He's dug his own grave with this. Because if his health doesn't kill him, if Epstein doesn't put him out of office, by the way, he put out of office, the states are going to come after him. No more you fuck me forever will come after him. The third thing is Jack Smith will get him in the end if he's still alive and around after his administration from 2029 on. And this Griffin, that's going to happen between now and the end of this administration. All of this is the biggest scandal in U.S. American history by a U.S. president. And they're going to catch him, but they can't do it now because Bobby is in there, his people are in the DOJ, and they're doing what he says. But this could end real quickly for him. And here's the thing, he gets kicked out because of Epstein. Check this out, he gets kicked out because of Epstein. This is a bombshell. The states can come after both on Epstein, Luke, kids, whatever, and they can come after on the Griffin. You think Patricia James want a shot at that? She the one they had him before. She's the reason why he called the fellow president. Oh, you know. I want you to understand something. The other bombshell that are digging his own grave is every day when he's basically going off about warring with XYZ countries. The reason that's going to be a big shot because he looks incompetent and he looks
The
like
motherfuckers they be up all damn night.
I know. I hear the noise already.
Back and forth, back and forth. Like, what is you? You going back and forth.
Yeah, that's wow. And it's 2:21 a.m. in the morning.
And they don't stop until about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh my God.
What do you do the more you drag the GOP down? Oh, by the way, you think Heritage Foundation has been doing a lot? They executed 85%. Bullshit. It's a civil war. They see you standing. Are exiting out of that son of a bitch like that. The game is changing. Tremendous. Tremendous. And what we're witnessing right now is a systematic breakdown of him mentally, physically, financially, and him covering the Epstein list is absolute lead to the thing. But there's even more bombshell. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, so here's the thing. You see all the activity, right? And the stuff they haven't followed up, they haven't up with, they haven't done a lot of things with. All of that stuff is being tracked. Let me break it down to you like this that nobody else told you. That Epstein list has already been released without redaction. But what Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna, who basically authored the Epstein Transparency have an excuse to go after them, but the reality is they have the list. They have the file. A whole bunch of people have those files. And the reason they have made a big thing to release them because they want to hold back and put this heat on Trump. Well, let me tell you, when that stuff is coming out, one of the big mega things that are going to come out that we're going to see is exactly what is Trump's relationship to the intelligence community and to the fixers in that industry. Why is that important to know? Because if Trump was around any kind of killing or death, like was been alleged, that they never followed up on, they're following up on it. I've said this before, but I want you to hear this very clearly. There are investigations going on Trump. He's dug his own grave with this. What I mean by that is that there are people looking into the grifting, and they're waiting. The reason they don't go down is because they're waiting. Who they gonna bring it to? Who they gonna bring it to? And if he gets kicked out, think about this. He gets kicked out because of Epstein, all the stuff. If he gets kicked out this year, he is an open target to the states for everything I just mentioned. There's the grifting. There's the deportation. Remember, states' rights versus federal rights. We've won this past year a lot of those states' rights versus federal rights. And we've still got a lot of it. But I want you to understand we're going to how he's going into the new year weaker than he was a year ago. Believe that. And what I want you to understand is that him digging his own grave, every time he's opening his mouth, he's making everything I just said worse. The more he talks, the worse it gets. So I'm like, Trump, talk, baby, talk. Talk, baby, talk. Bleed me out. Because he's taking his own every step.
What's that?
He said,
Here's the other thing.
Uh-huh.
he said, Trump, baby, talk. Bleed out.
Epstein, Ribs, Jack Smith's information. All of this stuff can hit back to dominoes to take him down. Even if he dies and you got JD in office, all of the conspirators to every kind of grift and the Epstein list and all the stuff from the insurrection and justice in the past still goes on. Trump avoids them, but his people will not avoid jail. Remember, last term, a lot of people went to jail behind Trump. That's what this is about. Get ready, watch the way. Hey, funeral service at 12. Watch my next video.
Hey, sir. Hey, how old are you? I'm 62 now. Oh my, look at all the rings.
Roaches out of suck my dick out down and rush out of DC.
President Trump says the U.S. carried out large-scale strikes on Venezuela overnight. He says its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, have been captured and flown out of the country. Attorney General Pam Bondi says both of them have been indicted, and in a social media post...
Oh wow, they're being indicted? Maduro and his wife?
...soon face the full wrath of American justice.
Attorney General Pam Bondi. Tennessee Rodriguez, Vice President, El Salvador.
We demand immediate proof of life from the government of President Donald Trump.
I'm in Venezuela. Sorry, I said Venezuela.
Just had what sources are describing as a full psychotic meltdown in the Oval Office and then abruptly fled Washington, D.C. on Air Force One while Congress is erupting over his illegal Venezuelan invasion. And the Supreme Court is being openly defied by his administration. This happened on January 3rd, 2026, and it represents the most chaotic and dangerous moment of Trump's presidency so far. Just hours after announcing on Truth Social that Venezuelan President Maduro had been captured during U.S. airstrikes on Caracas, Trump completely lost it in the Oval Office when he learned about the bipartisan backlash and the impeachment threats and the Justice Department warnings about war powers violations Sources inside the White House describe a scene of absolute chaos where Trump was screaming at aides and throwing things and demanding to know who the traitors were who were undermining him.
Oh, wow.
Just left. Trump boarded Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time and flew to Mar-a-Lago, skipping scheduled intelligence briefings and abandoning Washington while the country is in crisis. Trump posted on Truth Social during the flight saying, D.C. is a swamp of cowards fleeing to fight the real war on narco-terror. That's the President of the United States calling the nation's capital a swamp of cowards and admitting that he's fleeing rather than dealing with the constitutional crisis he created. Come on, this is absolutely insane. The President of the United States launched an illegal military strike on a sovereign nation, claimed to capture its leader, triggered a constitutional crisis over war powers, and then ran away to his golf resort in Florida when things got difficult. This is not normal.
Wow.
Psychological collapse.
Oh my God.
Further, real quick, let's be honest. You can't really trust mainstream media anymore. That's why we built Pump Politics, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, join our free newsletter. We'll send the news straight to your inbox every day. Just click the link in the description to join. And if you just want to support what we're doing, join.
Connection successful. Connection successful. Connection successful. This is the latest 10th generation portable Wi-Fi device launched by mobile company in 2025. No registration or data cables are required. You can directly receive internet signals from satellites, enabling you to enjoy high-speed internet anywhere in the world. And
Join us. Be part of the community that actually cares about the truth. All right, let's get back to the video.
Violence against protesters and opponents for 13 years. Once that fades, the hard questions now must be answered about what to do with Venezuela's crippled economy. That has been the reason why Maduro has needed to be authoritarian. The mismanagement of basic things like inflation, foodstuffs that permeates that entire country. What happens now to Venezuela's military, heavily hit during this brief series of strikes? To point out, the explosions we've been seeing in these videos, utterly alien to life in sleepy, peaceful Caracas, will terrify the millions who live there. What is the likely course for Venezuela's political elite? Is indeed Delcy Rodriguez the successor? Does she immediately seek a detente?
The Venezuela situation that triggered all of
Oh, Maduro vice president was a female.
Huh?
I said his vice president, she as a lady. They want her. Maybe she could be president again. They she and Trump getting along. There was before, but I don't know what's going on now. Yeah, I think Trump said she's not strong enough to run the country. And it's true. I don't think she will be that strong enough to fight the drug cartel and stuff. If she become president. So yeah, so that means the U.S. government have to run Venezuela until they can find a suitable person, a strong person to run the country, to be president.
Without consulting anyone, and then ran away when people started questioning whether it was legal or wise. The Justice Department reportedly warned Trump that he was violating war powers laws and could face serious legal consequences. And Trump's response to those warnings was to have a meltdown and flee to Florida. This is a
Because you still got people in it. You still got a military leader loyal to Maduro. Some of them loyal to him, and also probably the cartels and stuff. So they'll need a whole new regime. Even though he's not there, they need to change the whole, reshuffle the whole military, everything.
including Chicago and Los Angeles and Portland. Trump made this order on December 31st, claiming that crime had dropped and the National Guard was no longer needed, but the cities are still experiencing serious unrest, and now they're being left without federal support while Trump hides in Florida. The Speaker of the House is openly threatening to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office on grounds of incapacity. Multiple Republican senators are calling for emergency hearings on Trump's mental fitness. The Dow Jones crashed 8% in response to the Venezuela strikes and Trump's erratic behavior, wiping out trillions of dollars in market value. This is the kind of chaos you see when a government is collapsing, not when a stable democracy is functioning normally. Trump has created crisis after crisis through his reckless decisions and then abandoned Washington rather than facing the consequences. He's hiding at Mar-a-Lago while the country burns and the markets crash and Congress debates whether he's mentally fit to continue serving as president. The timing and manner of Trump's departure from Washington is deeply concerning to national security officials and constitutional scholars. Trump left Joint Base Andrews at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time, deliberately skipping intelligence briefings that were scheduled for that afternoon. The President of the United States is supposed to receive daily intelligence briefings to stay informed about threats to national security, but Trump skipped those briefings to fly to his golf resort while a military operation he ordered is still ongoing in Venezuela. What happens if there's a development in Venezuela that requires presidential decision-making? What happens if Maduro's forces counterattack, or if there are more civilian casualties, or if the situation escalates? Trump won't be in the Situation Room getting briefed by his national security team.
Wow.
Trump will be at Mar-a-Lago surrounded by golf buddies and Mar-a-Lago members while a war he started continues without his attention. This is a dereliction of duty at the highest level. Trump started a military conflict and then abandoned his post to go on vacation. And he's calling everyone who questions this decision a traitor while hiding in Florida. Let's break down exactly what happened in the Oval Office before Trump fled and what the sources are saying about his mental state during this crisis. According to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the events, Trump received briefings on the morning of January 3rd about the bipartisan backlash to the Venezuela strikes. Trump was told that even some Republicans were questioning the legality of the operation and that impeachment discussions were happening on Capitol Hill. Trump was also told that the Justice Department had serious concerns about war powers violations and that he could potentially face legal consequences for ordering strikes without congressional authorization. According to sources, Trump's reaction to these briefings was explosive and disturbing. Trump reportedly started screaming at aides, demanding to know who was leaking information and who the traitors were who were undermining him. Trump reportedly objects and pounded on his desk while ranting about being persecuted and surrounded by enemies. One source described the scene as a complete meltdown, unlike anything they had witnessed before in the Trump White House. Another source used the word psychotic to describe Trump's behavior during this episode. These are not partisan critics making these assessments. These are people who work directly for Trump and who witnessed his behavior firsthand. The decision to flee to Mar-a-Lago reportedly came suddenly and without proper planning or coordination. Trump apparently announced to his staff that he was leaving Washington immediately and going to Florida. Aides scrambled to arrange Air Force One and to figure out what was happening with the scheduled intelligence briefings and other presidential duties. Trump refused to wait for the briefings or to participate in any discussions about the Venezuela situation. Trump just wanted to leave Washington and get away from everyone who was questioning his decisions. The departure at 4:20 p.m. was rushed and chaotic, with Trump reportedly still ranting about traitors as he boarded the plane. During the flight to Palm Beach, Trump posted his Truth Social message calling D.C. a swamp of cowards. He will fight the real war on murder. That message reveals Trump's mindset. He sees legitimate constitutional oversight.
Johnson, D.C. is a swarm of cows. Wow.
This is delusional thinking from a president who has lost touch with reality and who is unable to cope with the consequences of his own decisions. The Venezuela strikes themselves represent the most reckless use of American military force in decades and potentially constitute war crimes under international law. Trump ordered strikes on Caracas, the capital city of a sovereign nation, without any declaration of war, without congressional authorization, without a clear and present threat to American national security, and without proper planning to avoid civilian casualties. The strikes reportedly killed more than 20 civilians, including women and children who had nothing to do with the Maduro government or any threat to the United States. Under international law, deliberately or recklessly killing civilians during military operations can constitute war crimes. House Democrats have already filed a war crimes resolution calling for an investigation into the civilian deaths. The international community is condemning the strikes as an illegal act of aggression against a sovereign nation. America's allies are distancing themselves from Trump's actions. And Trump's response to all of this is to run away to Florida and post angry messages on social media. He's not taking responsibility for the civilian deaths. He's not explaining the legal justification for the strikes. He's not working with Congress to address the constitutional concerns. He's just hiding and lashing out at everyone who questions him. The war powers violations that the Justice Department warned Trump about are serious and could potentially form the basis for criminal charges or additional impeachment articles. Under the Constitution and the War Powers Act, the president cannot unilaterally start a war without congressional authorization except in cases of imminent threat to national security. Venezuela posed no imminent threat to the United States that would justify emergency military action without consulting Congress. Trump simply decided on his own to launch strikes on a foreign capital and then announced it on social media. This is exactly the kind of unilateral
Good.
making that the founders specifically designed the Constitution to prevent. The president is not supposed to be able to start wars on his own authority without any checks or oversight. But Trump did exactly that. When the Justice Department warned him about the legal consequences, he had a meltdown and ran away. The war powers violations add to the already extensive list of potential grounds for impeachment and removal. H. Resolution 939 already contains 7 articles of impeachment, and the Venezuela strikes could potentially add additional articles related to abuse of war powers and potentially war crimes. The connection between the Venezuela strikes and Trump's immigration rhetoric is important for understanding why Trump made this reckless decision. For years, Trump has been blaming Venezuela and the Maduro government for immigration problems at the southern border. Trump has claimed that Maduro is deliberately sending criminals and gang members to the United States as part of an invasion. Trump has used Venezuela as a boogeyman to justify his mass deportation policies and his harsh immigration enforcement. The Caracas strikes appear to be Trump following through on his rhetoric by literally attacking the country he blames for immigration problems. Trump announced during the strikes that this was part of his war on narco-terror and that Maduro was responsible for crime in American cities. This is unhinged thinking. You don't solve immigration problems by bombing a foreign capital and killing civilians. But Trump has convinced himself and his base that Venezuela is an enemy that needs to be attacked. And he acted on that delusion without any regard for law or consequences or civilian lives. The National Guard pullout from American cities that Trump ordered on December 31st is now creating additional chaos as Trump hides in Florida. Trump claimed that Chicago, San Diego, and that the National Guard was no longer needed. But those cities are still experiencing significant unrest, and now they're losing federal support at the worst possible time. City officials in all 3 cities have condemned the pullout as reckless and politically motivated. They say the National Guard was providing critical support for law enforcement and that removing them will lead to increased violence and chaos. And Trump is doing this while simultaneously starting a war in Venezuela, which means military resources are being redirected away from domestic needs. Trump is abandoning American cities to pursue a foreign military adventure that nobody asked for and that violates American law. The domestic chaos and the foreign chaos are both products of Trump's erratic decision-making and his inability to think through the consequences of his actions. The market reaction to Trump's Venezuela strikes and his subsequent meltdown and flight from Washington has been catastrophic for the American economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average crashed 8% in a single day, wiping out trillions of dollars in market value. This is one of the largest single-day drops in stock market history, comparable to the crashes during the 2008 financial crisis and the early days of the COVID pandemic. Investors are fleeing American markets because they've lost confidence in the stability of the American government. When the president starts an illegal war, has a psychotic meltdown, and then flees to his golf resort while skipping intelligence briefings, that's not exactly a signal of stable and competent leadership. Oil prices have spiked dramatically because of concerns about disruption to Venezuelan oil production and broader instability in the region. Gas prices are expected to rise significantly. Damage from Trump's reckless Venezuela rival or exceed the damage from his earlier trade wars and policy chaos.
Not so easy.
Pay the price for Trump's instability in the form of higher prices, lost savings, and economic uncertainty. The 25th Amendment discussions that are now happening on Capitol Hill represent the most serious threat to Trump's continued presidency. The Speaker of the House is openly threatening to invoke the 25th Amendment process to remove Trump from office on grounds of mental incapacity. Under the 25th Amendment, the Vice President and a majority of the Cabinet can declare the President unable to discharge his duties, at which point the Vice President becomes acting President. The President can challenge the declaration, but then Congress votes on whether to remove him permanently. The Speaker's threats suggest that there are serious discussions happening about whether Trump's behavior The meltdown, the flight from Washington, the erratic decision-making, the war crimes, constitutes inability to discharge his duties. If the vice president and cabinet were to invoke the 25th Amendment, Trump would be immediately stripped of his powers and unable to make any further decisions about Venezuela or anything else. This is an extraordinary remedy that has never been used to remove a president, but Trump's behavior is so far outside the bounds of normal presidential conduct that it's now being seriously discussed. The impeachment drive that was already underway is now being supercharged by the Venezuela strikes and Trump's subsequent behavior. H.Res. 939 already contains 7 articles of impeachment covering obstruction, abuse of power, tyranny, and other offenses. The Venezuela strikes add potential new articles related to abuse of war powers, violations of the War Powers Act, and potentially war crimes for the civilian deaths. Over 120 lawmakers had already called for Trump's resignation before the Venezuela strikes.
Wow.
That number is likely to grow significantly now that Trump has started an illegal war and then fled Washington rather than facing the consequences. The impeachment proceedings are entering a new and more urgent phase. Democrats are arguing that Trump cannot be allowed to continue serving as president while he's actively committing new offenses and demonstrating mental instability. Republicans who were previously defending Trump are now facing enormous pressure to distance themselves from his increasingly erratic behavior. The Venezuela strikes may be the tipping point that finally breaks Republican support for Trump. The pattern of Trump fleeing from difficult situations is well documented and deeply concerning. Trump left the G7 summit early when he faced criticism from allies. Trump refused to attend Biden's inauguration in a break with centuries of democratic tradition. Trump has a consistent pattern of running away when things get difficult rather than staying and dealing with problems. The flight to Mar-a-Lago fits perfectly into this pattern. Trump couldn't handle the criticism and the legal warnings, so he ran away to his safe space in Florida where he's surrounded by loyalists and sycophants who won't challenge him. But running away doesn't make the problems disappear. The constitutional crisis is still happening, the war in Venezuela is still ongoing, the civilian deaths still occurred, the markets are still crashing, Congress is still discussing impeachment and the 25th Amendment. Trump can hide at Mar-a-Lago, but he can't hide from the consequences of his actions. All right, so let's break down what Trump's meltdown and flight from Washington actually means and what the implications are going to be moving forward for his presidency in the country. Number one is that the President of the United States has essentially abandoned his post during a crisis of his own making. Trump started a war in Venezuela, triggered a constitutional crisis, crashed the markets, and then fled to his golf resort rather than dealing with the consequences. This is a dereliction of duty at the highest level. The commander-in-chief is supposed to be present and engaged during military operations, not hiding in Florida and posting angry messages on social media. Trump skipped intelligence briefings to fly to Mar-a-Lago while American forces are engaged in combat operations in Venezuela. This is unprecedented and dangerous behavior from a sitting president. Number two is what the Venezuela strikes mean for American foreign policy and international standing. Trump has launched an illegal war against a sovereign nation without congressional authorization, killing civilians in the process. The international community is condemning the United States. Our allies are distancing themselves from Trump's actions. America's credibility as a responsible global power has been severely damaged. The war crimes allegations will follow the United States for years, and Trump is hiding at his golf resort while all of this unfolds rather than engaging in the diplomatic work needed to manage the fallout. Number three is what this means for the 25th Amendment and impeachment discussions. The Speaker is openly threatening 25th Amendment invocation. Over 120 lawmakers had already called for resignation before the Venezuela strikes. The impeachment articles in H.Res. 939 are likely to be expanded to include the war powers violations and potential war crimes. Trump's mental fitness is being openly questioned by members of both parties. The meltdown in the Oval Office and the flight to Florida are being cited as evidence that Trump is unable to discharge his duties. We may be witnessing the final days of the Trump presidency as multiple constitutional mechanisms for removal are being actively discussed. Number four is the economic catastrophe that Trump's instability has triggered. The Dow crashed 8% in a single day. Trillions of dollars in market value have been wiped out. Oil prices are spiking, and gas prices will follow. Investors have lost confidence in American stability under Trump's leadership. American families are going to pay the price for Trump's erratic behavior through higher prices and lost savings. The economic damage from the Venezuela adventure could take years to recover from. Number 5 is what this means for the 2026 midterm elections and Republican prospects. Trump's approval rating was already at historic lows before the Venezuela strikes and the meltdown. Republican candidates were already distancing themselves from Trump. Now they have to answer for a president who started an illegal war, had a psychotic meltdown, and fled to Florida while the country burned. The unfit and unstable narratives about Trump have been dramatically confirmed by his behavior. Independents are bolting from the Republican Party. GOP donors are fleeing. The midterm wipeout that many predicted is now looking increasingly likely. So what comes next in this situation?
Every time you play at Wind Creek Bethlehem, you'll experience the unforgettable. The hottest games, the highest fans, and the biggest winning moments. Casino playing, upscale gourmet, hotel stay, spa getaway. Every spin, every hand, every moment. It could be you. Wind Creek Casino. Find your winning moment.
Well, the Venezuela situation is ongoing and unpredictable. American forces are still engaged in operations. The fate of Maduro is unclear, despite Trump's claims of capture. More civilian casualties are possible. International condemnation is growing. And Trump is at Mar-a-Lago rather than in the Situation Room managing the crisis. The 25th Amendment and impeachment discussions are going to intensify. The Vice President and Cabinet are facing enormous pressure to act. Congress is debating whether Trump can be allowed to continue serving. The constitutional crisis is deepening by the hour. The bigger picture here is that we're watching a presidency collapse in real time. Trump has always been erratic and impulsive, but the Venezuela strikes and the subsequent meltdown represent a new level of dangerous instability. Trump started an illegal war, killed civilians, crashed the markets, had a psychotic episode in the Oval Office, and then fled to Florida rather than facing the consequences. This is not stable leadership. This is not competent governance. This is a president in complete psychological and political collapse who is taking the country down with him. The guardrails are being tested as never before. The question is whether the constitutional mechanisms designed to remove an unfit president will actually be invoked before Trump does even more damage. Trump is at Mar-a-Lago right now, presumably planning his next moves with whatever loyalists he's assembled for his emergency war council, but his options are shrinking rapidly. Congress is turning against him. The markets are crashing. The international community is condemning him. His own Justice Department warned him about legal consequences. The military is reportedly uncomfortable with the Venezuela operation. Trump is increasingly isolated and increasingly unstable, and the consequences of his instability are being felt by millions of Americans who are watching their savings evaporate and their country's reputation be destroyed by a president who can't control his impulses. Stick around because this situation is going to continue developing rapidly in the coming hours and days. The Venezuela operation is ongoing and could escalate at any moment. The 25th Amendment discussions could produce action at any time. The impeachment proceedings are accelerating. The markets could crash further. Trump could have another meltdown and make things even worse. We are in uncharted territory for American democracy, and nobody knows how this ends. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of it when it happens. This is the most dangerous moment for American democracy since the Civil War, and we're going to cover every development as it unfolds. Trump's meltdown and flight from Washington may be remembered as the beginning of the end of his presidency, or as the moment when American democracy faced its greatest test.
Hey everybody, Dr. T here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, but today we're not going to be analyzing body language. Today we're going to be doing a forensic analysis of Jeffrey Epstein's death. Before we get started with this, couple quick things. One, I want to make sure you know this is not a psychological analysis. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content. Just like this. All right, let's go. Now, if you've been watching my coverage of Epstein, you'll see that I have already analyzed quite a lot of footage from this thing. However, there's a segment that I have not covered, and when combine that DOJ's report, which we are also going to review a little bit of, I think we have found Jeffrey Epstein's killer. And by the time I'm done talking about all this, I think we might come to the same conclusion. All right, let's just jump right in. So where we're starting is about a minute before we spot staircase, just a sliver of it, that's a staircase that leads up to what's called Tier L. And Tier L is where Jeffrey Epstein's housed. We're going to look at a picture of Tier L later, but right now you can see Officer Dunor standing up. As you watch, she walks right off the screen. Clearly she didn't walk up the stairs. I paused it. Clearly she did not walk up the stairs. She walked directly off. We're going to watch that one last time so you can see what that looks like. All of this matters, just bear with me. It's so hard to see, it's important to watch it a couple times. Okay, so she just walked off. So what we're going to do now is skip ahead about a minute so you can see this orange figure walk up these stairs. Now, as you can see, as I pointed out before, clearly Officer Noel did not walk up the stairs. But what the DOJ alleges is that this is in fact her carrying either linens or clothes up the stairs, and that must be what we're seeing. But we've got a lot of details around that we're going to get into from the report to make this much more complicated. Let's just jump right in and watch it, and then we'll talk more about it. So here we are, nearing 10:40 p.m. I want you to watch on the staircase. You're going to see what looks like a figure dressed in orange walking up the stairs. So clearly this is the color of the jumpsuits. No question about that. Let's watch this again. And as far as I can tell, you see something moving around, I don't see any parts that do not look orange. Because what is said in the report, let's actually read the report right now. I'm going to pull this up, although we're going to be going much deeper into the report. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about specifically what it says. Through review and analysis of the shoe video footage, witness statements, and DOP records, OIG determined that at approximately 10:40 p.m., is what we're looking at right now, the CO, the correction officer, believed to be Noel, carried linen or inmate clothing up to L tier, which was the last time any CO approached the only entrance to the shoe tier in which Epstein was housed. Okay. Now I dispute that's what's happening here. One, because it looks like somebody's actually wearing orange. And two, because you're going to see for many reasons why that is inconsistent with what comes next. We're going to watch it one last time, and then we're going to move on, and we got a lot more to look at. Because it looks almost like somebody's arm reaches out, or there's something that comes out right here that is also orange. I'm going to go through a variety of reasons why I do not believe that that's somebody carrying linens. And even the report by the Inspector General of the Department of Justice says they believe it was Officer Noel. They do not confirm that it's Officer Noel. And when we go over the details, you're going to see why that seems even flimsier. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead to the next time we see somebody come in frame. Now I want you to keep in mind, I'm watching this with a very critical eye. We do not see anybody come back down the stairs. There is at no point during this segment that I'm going to skip to that anybody walks down that stairs and you see a hand, a leg, a foot, anything. We skipped about a minute ahead, and now we're going to see the next person come in frame. Now this is Officer Noel again. Now, did you notice how she came in? Directly right to left. There was no part where she walked down the stairs. You didn't see her coming down the stairs and curve towards this. Once again, we're going to look at footage later of somebody doing that so you can compare it with this. But at no point did we see her walking down those stairs. So at this point, nobody has come back down. One person has come up. I've not seen anybody come back down again. Now the question is, when would they come back down? How would they get out if we didn't see them yet? They have to come out at some point. So there's really two possible explanations for if one person came up that we didn't see come back down. What happened? Well, one of them would be, as they're coming back out, maybe it's possible that off in the distance they spotted this camera or realized there was a camera here. Because obviously if they knew that ahead of time when they were trying to stay hidden, they would not have been visible at all as they walked up the stairs. The other possibility would be that there's a time that's missing from this video, and that's when they walk. We're going to skip ahead for a minute. You probably know what's coming next. So here we are at 11:58 p.m. at night. Most of you would have seen anything about this footage. No, we are getting ready to come up on a missing minute. So why is this missing minute That's what it looks like when an officer walks up the stairs to L tier. Let's watch that again. As you can see, they're very clearly wearing dark clothing. There's no orange. There's nothing that could possibly be mistaken for that. So there you go. That's actually somebody leaning over. They're handing something down. So that gives you an idea of the height right there. That proportionally. I mean, this stuff is so hard to see. I know it's frustrating to try to look at. And I assure you that when we compare this to the DOJ report, you will truly understand why I've come to the conclusion that we have actually seen Jeffrey Epstein's killer on this video. So there you can see, that's what it looks like with somebody coming down the stairs. You can see just a little bit of an outline as they're running down. See, that's what going down the stairs looks like. Now somebody could avoid being seen if they wanted to. They have to be aware of this camera and try not to be seen. So sure, it wouldn't be that hard, I think, to sneak up and down. But if somebody's not trying to be seen and they walk down, that's what it looks like. That's why I wonder, why didn't we see that from Officer Noel? Let's look at the orange figure one last time before we really get into the report. But as you can see this person walking up. After watching people leaning over, it almost looks like this person is leaning over. Like that's the head right there, and then that's the body right behind it. It almost looks like they're leaning over and looking at the desk where the officers sit. So now let's move on to the DOJ's report about this. Because the DOJ's report is really what I've solidified my belief that this is in fact somebody who is not supposed to be there. Now let's look at the Office of the Inspector General, Department of Justice's report on the night Jeffrey Epstein died. Now, I have analyzed some of this before, but what we're looking at here specifically is only going to be what's relevant to what we just saw. There's so much more in here. I have some other videos on it. I highly recommend you watch if you're interested in this. The ER system, the security cameras. We talk about all sorts of strange inconsistencies, but all of this is going to relate back to what we just covered, and it will help you understand why I've come to the conclusion that I think that we have now seen Jeffrey Epstein's killer. So as we analyze this, there's a couple of things that you've got to know to make sense here. One is that if you see SHU written anywhere, SHU, Special Housing Unit, that's where they are. They're in the Special Housing Unit. Jeffrey Epstein is on Tier L in the Special Housing Unit. He's on Tier L of SHU. In addition to that, there's supposed to be head counts at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Did not do any of those. We're going to get into the quotes about that. But understand, they're supposed to do that, and then every 30 minutes, they should be checking the inmates. That's just part of what they have to do. That's their job. But understanding those fundamental facts helps you better understand some of what I'm seeing in this. So here's a couple of quotes I'm going to read you, and we'll talk about them. It's going to get a lot more interesting as we go, but I'm going to try to be thorough, so I'm going to cover everything. So, at approximately 8 p.m. on August 9th, SHU inmates were locked into their cells for the night, including Epstein, who was without a cellmate. All right, so at 8 p.m., everybody was locked in their cell. So they are saying that could not have just been an inmate walking around, period. 8 o'clock, that was 10:40. A search of Epstein's cell following his death revealed Epstein had excess prison blankets, linens, and clothing in the cell. So keep in mind, there were 3 other people in this tier aside from Epstein. We're going to go into what they said happened that night and what they recall. We talked about that in another video in a different way, but it's relevant to this, so we're going to go back to it. But keep in mind, there's only 4 people up there. So if linens and clothes were taken up there, they were taken up there either for Epstein or one of the other 3 people. He had an excess of these things in his cell, which he shouldn't have had at all. The OIG also found that SHU staff did not conduct any 30-minute rounds after about 10:40 on August 9th, and that none of the required SHU inmate counts were conducted after 4 p.m. on August 9th. So they did not do any head counts, which is a really important part of the prison. And as far as the 30-minute rounds, from what they're saying is that what we saw at 10:40 was one of their rounds. That is the claim. This is one last part I'm going to show you from the intro of this. This is a 128-page document. We're not going to talk about every single page. But this is incredibly significant. This was in the introduction. Additionally, the OIG did not observe on the recorded video that Noel and Thomas being the other officer who came later, who were seated at a desk at the SHU officer station immediately outside the area where Epstein was housed, at any time during the time period, rose from their seats or approached the cell phone. So they're basically saying that between 10:40 p.m. and 6:30 a.m., that false, specific narrative, and it's saying something that is unequivocally, provably, and factually false in every sense of the word. Now this I just highlighted because it continues to repeat. It says many times throughout that Epstein had an excess of blankets, linen, and clothing in his cell. And if he had that excess, and yet at the same time they felt like they needed to bring somebody extra linens or clothes, how is it that they took an inventory of that? How did they know what anybody needed? Because they weren't checking on them. So why did they take, and who did they take the blankets and the linens to? Who was it that needed new clothes? There's no indication at any point as we go through this that anybody asked for that anybody received it. Let's just keep going. So here's another quote. Additionally, the OIG participated in interviews 15 inmates who had been housed at MCC New York during the time periods relevant to our investigation, including 3 who were housed in the L tier of the SHU the day Epstein died. Those 3 L tier inmates were housed in cells opposite Epstein's cell and therefore had a direct line of sight to Epstein's cell on the night of August 9th and 10th. Now, as we're going to see when we look at what the cells look like, while technically true, it's not quite the nature of the way that sounds. Because it looks like if you're going to have a direct look at somebody else, you actually have to go up to what appears to be a little window. So unless you're literally standing at your door, you don't have a direct line of sight to other people. It doesn't look like you could be sitting in your bunk and be looking at somebody else at the same time. You'll see for yourself when you get out. I'm trying to go in order. I could probably organize this a little differently. This just makes no sense to me. Another quote that stands out, you're going to have more conflicting information. MCC New York SHU staff members do not conduct the 4 p.m. or 10 p.m. inmate counts. After approximately 10:40 p.m., SHU staff members do not conduct the required 30-minute rounds. Just keep in mind, we're saying that the 4 o'clock and 10 p.m. inmate counts did not happen. If you just want to understand how this is all organized right here is where the officers sit. L tier is right there. You can see this teeny little staircase right here that leads up. So look here at the stair. Now I want you to look at the way that this is set up right here. So there's one staircase leading down to M tier, and there's a staircase leading up to L tier. It's not all that wide. If you really hooked the right side of it, you could avoid being spotted on that camera. That would not be that hard to do. And you can see where it leads up right here. Now, as I pointed out earlier, it looked like somebody put their head out, put an arm out, and even leaned over, which would help you see anybody seated over here, or if there's anybody that they weren't aware of down here. And then that leads right out into L tier. So think about this. It's claimed that Officer Noel walked up there at 10:40, but we never saw her come back down. I looked as best as I could. Unless she was avoiding being seen coming back down, we certainly didn't see her walk down. And we didn't see her walk down with linens. If the linens were spotted going up, they would be even more visible coming down because they would be in front of her. So what happened to the linens and the clothing that allegedly she took upstairs? It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense at all. And if she did give them to somebody, that's not indicated here because nobody indicates that they received any of those things. So here's what I was talking about, how to be able to see into somebody else's cell, you have to be standing right up there with windows behind you. And here you can see L tier's entry door. There is Epstein's cell right there open. There's the little window I was talking about. So when they say they have a direct line of sight, like I said, in theory that's true if you were like standing up and looking through that window, but otherwise you're not going to be able to see much of anything unless someone passes right in front of the door. Now this is significant because there's a very important point I'm going to talk about in a minute that I think is extremely important. And I'm not just trying to get you to sit through this video. It's just hard to go through every last thing without going in order. But there's something that Jerry Sheets is going to really stand out. I just want you to get an idea of how close this officer station is to Epstein's room. It is not that far from his cell at all. All right, now we're getting to a section I call 72+1. This is very confusing. I had actually thought about doing a video on this previously, but it's so confusing in fact that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to skip it. But actually it's too relevant to this, so we're going to go over it. Try to bear with me. I'm going to explain it as best as I can. So what this is